Hi guys, in this video we will see how to do form administration. So we will take up a form and maybe the incident form, and we will try to see what are the parts of the form and how we can add or remove things from there. So what is a form? A form displays information about a record. Okay, so let's see an incident form. I'll type incident here and I will go to one of the incidents. It displays records fields, the number, caller, category, subcategory, and so on. On the top you can see this is called form header, and it contains some UI actions which you can call as buttons as well, but in ServiceNow we call it as UI actions, and there are some buttons as well. So these buttons are used for specific functionality which we will come to later, and some additional fields are also defined under sections, notes, related records, or maybe resolution information. And the last one is the task SLS. These are called related lists. We will also come to that in a minute. So on the form header, if you right click, you can see other UI actions as well which are present out of the box, and this is an admin view, so I can see all the buttons here. Let's get started with these three additional sections. Once I click on this, you can see I can modify the view of the form. So right now I'm looking at a default view. I can go and look at self-service view where there are less fields. So this is a self-service view where if a self-service user logs in, he will be able to see this kind of form. I will switch back to default view, and next you can see the manage attachment section. I can attach any files if I want to from my desktop. Then you can see the activity stream button. Once I click on this, I will go to the activity, and I can see the activity count and the work notes. Let's go to the next one, personalized form. So if I want to see only fields which are relevant to me and I don't want to see any other field, I can do it from here, and this happens only for the individual user, and it doesn't happen globally, or it doesn't affect any other users. So if I remove any one field, it will not affect anyone else. So for example, if I want to remove category, so you can see category disappeared from here. I'll put it back as of now, and there are some grayed out fields you can see. So these might be the mandatory fields, or they might be for example on hold reason. So it doesn't display here right now, but it displays when we go on to on hold, and this field appears here. So this is how you can personalize a form for an individual user who's logged in. Next, you can see more options if you want to send an email from here, or you want to see the template bar which comes up on the bottom, and if you want to add any tag to this particular record. Moving on to next UI sections, you can see there are some out of the box buttons called follow. If you want to follow this record, it will open in connect. If an update or some addition is made on this record, you will get a connect notification, and you can update the record. You can make some changes and update, and if the user is or the service desk agent is done resolving this incident, they can resolve, or you can as an admin also delete the record. Okay, and next we move on to some of the configurations of form. So first, when you right click and go to configure, and you can go to form design, and a new tab opens, and actually you can drag and drop the fields from here. So how you want to display the form on the default view. Okay, and you can choose the view in which you want to make changes as well. So for example, I will add additional assignee list here. It's just a drag and drop, and if I save, it will start appearing on the form. Let me refresh this. You can see a new field has appeared here, additional assignee list. Similarly, we can add or remove any columns we want in the incident table. So these are all defined on the left hand side. Right now I will delete this by clicking on this cross, and I will save it again. So this is how we can configure our form. Next we will move on to form layout. So this is similar to form design, except that the UI changes here, and you can drag and drop the fields you want to see on the form. You can see here split means it will move on to the next column, and so on. So if I add anything from here, again additional assignee lists, it will start appearing on the form. Again, I can select the view, in which view I want to make changes, or in any section I want to add or remove. Next we'll move on to the related list. So these are the lists which are particularly related to this particular record. So for example, if I want to see affected CIs in a related list, I can just pull this and I will save this here, and it will start appearing on the bottom, and you can see a new tab has been added at the bottom. So this is related list, and if you go to the settings on the top right hand corner and go to forms, you can see here tabbed forms. If I switch it off, my sections, they will start display in different sections. And I can actually minimize them as well. So this doesn't look pretty, but it may be helpful to some organizations. I will just switch it on back, and there is another related list loading to increase the performance of loading the page. If I'm loading my related list with the form, it might take more time, because it might be there might be many records. For example, on the CMDB table, it takes a lot of time, so we usually do it on demand, or maybe after the form loads. So it entirely depends on the form you are modifying. Here we saw how can we modify or add or remove fields from a form. We took incident form as an example, and how can we see the UI actions, what are the, and how we can use these UI actions on the form header. We saw form sections and the related list. So these are the main components of form administration. So let me know in comments if there are any questions. Do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.